those eyebrows. They are on fleek. So then I did that and I sprinkled the glitter on, and now there's just glitter everywhere.
I think I got some over here.
You probably did. Greg's like, why is there purple glitter on Vivian? And you're like, Megan.
We when we were in our old house, we used to do house concerts, and when I had my music blog, and there was a woman that has played our house many times, and her name is Rachel Sage, and she's awesome. But she wears like very brightly colored things and feather boas and big glasses.
Love it.
And glitter. Glitter's everywhere.
Glitter for days.
And so every time she would play our house, we would have glitter. We'd be finding glitter. We called it sage dust because her name is Rachel Sage.
I love it.
So we would find sage dust all over our house for months after that.
Nice.
And it reminds me of when COVID first hit and they were trying to explain to us how infectious it was. And they were like, let's say you're in a room and a whole bunch of people are doing crafting and one person is using glitter. How many of you have glitter in your project?
Everybody will have glitter.
Everybody.
You could be 300 feet away and you still get glitter.
Yep. That's funny. Hi, friends. Do us and yourselves a favor and check out our affiliate, 3 Spirit Drinks. They create plant-based, non-alcoholic elixirs that are cruelty-free and vegan, and they are designed to give you some of the benefits of alcohol without the hangover and other side effects. If you're looking to cut down on alcohol but still want the buzz, check them out. The link is us.3spiritdrinks.com and use the promo code TheActivityContinues for 15% off your entire order. We just want to talk about
sex, baby.
What?
You said we just want to talk about, and I said sex, baby.
Oh, are we going to do that tonight too?
I mean,
I didn't prepare for that.
I didn't prepare for it either. It's the song from the 90s. I forget who sings it.
Oh, I don't.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway.
yeah. Sorry, I derailed us.
No, that's okay. Wow, that never happens.
Never happens.
So this week, once again, because we're technically off.
Yeah.
We didn't really
prepare.
We didn't prepare like a whole
script, and which we usually do, and but we're kind of ad-libbing it. But I think it gets funnier when we do that.
I like it when we do these. I think it's fun, and it's a fun way to end the year on just a few episodes of just shooting the shit. Yeah, and not
some light shit,
not dealing with ghosts and all that kind of stuff.
Except for the fact that we covered a show called Ghost Brothers. But I mean, other than that,
this episode we are talking about a show called Ghost Brothers, which sadly is defunct. It only had 2 seasons,
which is unfortunate.
I know, because it's a good show. And
to be fair, though, I don't know if you're going to like my commentary because I do kind of rip into them a couple of times.
That's okay.
But I like them overall.
Yeah.
They're funny.
They are funny.
Their teeth are so white.
I know. They're funny and they're good looking.
Oh, they're hottie Pottertons.
And well, actually they have a couple of other shows. So like Ghost Brothers. Ghost Brothers only did 2 seasons, but then they have Ghost Brothers Haunted House Guest or something like that, where they go to people's homes.
Okay.
And I haven't watched any of those yet, but I will. But anyway, people out there, if you want to watch Ghost Brothers, they only have 2 seasons. They're both on Discovery Plus.
Or Travel Channel. I think they originally were on the Travel Channel, I think.
Yeah, they might be. A lot of those ghost shows are. I noticed that there was a little like promo thing in the middle and it said, if you want to reach us, go to blah, blah, blah TV. And it wasn't travel channel.
Really?
It was something else. And I was like, huh.
You're like, wait a minute.
So who knows where it actually airs other than Discovery?
Mm-hmm.
It's Amy here. Now I know. Ghost Brothers is a Destination America show, meaning that that's the channel it was originally on. Their other show, Ghost Brothers Haunted House Guests, is on the Travel Channel, but both Destination America and Travel Channel are part of Discovery Plus. Okay, so...
Okay.
So we wanted to talk about that. We also, as we talked about last time, I had bee in my bonnet about 3 wise men and a baby because...
But I see why. I wasn't able to watch the whole thing because we've been trying to get rid of this chair and a half, and the person on Facebook finally contacted me, and so they came to pick it up, and I couldn't pause it. I couldn't pause it or rewind it or anything, which really stunk. But oh my God, it was so funny.
Well, you do have it set to tape on the 21st, right?
I do. Yes.
Okay, so you'll be able to watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
You and I can talk about it. Probably won't be part of the show, but you and I can talk about it later. It's really one of my favorites.
I love him.
This whole season.
And he's just so good with like those really dry one-liners.
Yeah.
That's like where he sings, you know, it's just where he's talking about the baby and he goes, he eats like every 7 seconds and then walks like, oh my God. And then when the brother, so Tyler plays Taylor. That's not confusing.
That was confused. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought his name was Luke. And I'm like, wait, no, the other guy's name
Luke is the oldest brother who
Tyler
might have
is
the baby.
Yeah.
And then Steven's the one with all the anxiety, who's the pet therapist.
Yeah.
So Steven and Taylor were together and they just gotten the baby down and Luke comes home and slams the door and wakes him up. Yeah. And then they're like, where were you? Yeah. All day. Where were you?
They're like, it's 7:30.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, so now you're expert on the time. And then Tyler walks around him with the baby going, what's her name? It was just so funny.
It was good. And it felt ad-libbed. It probably wasn't, but it felt ad-libbed.
Yes.
And actually that's a thing that's hard to do is to appear that it's off the cuff when it's scripted.
Yeah.
So either way, whether it was ad-libbed and it felt like it, or whether it was scripted and it felt ad-libbed, it was
good. Yeah. And that's like, it was actually one of the better Hallmark movies in terms of acting too.
Yeah. Yep.
It was just so, oh my God.
It was well written.
I didn't get to see the ending because we had to record, but I'm sure it's, oh my God, I'll watch it again. It was the cutest.
Spoiler alert. If you haven't watched this movie yet and you don't want spoilers, skip ahead about 3 minutes. So,
I looked at minute 53 when they switched the babies.
Yes.
What about it?
How did they switch them back? In the next scene, suddenly the baby was back.
Oh, because you might have missed this, but Luke called the fire department and the fire department came, or the lawn, somebody came when I looked, they were in a uniform and Luke was talking to this woman and she was like, oh, you probably get this all the time. Yeah. And she goes, no, this is a first.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that this is a big plot hole, but I'm assuming that the mother of the other baby called the police and was like, my baby's missing, but they don't really explain.
They never explained any of that. No, I watched that like 3 minute in between. I watched it 3 times. And granted, I'm sitting at my desk watching it, so I'm doing other stuff. And I watched it 3 times and I'm like, okay, now they're back at the store and everything's fine. And it's the baby. It's not the Asian baby. And then I watched it once and I did notice that he was talking to a police officer.
Yes.
And he said, he said, you probably get this all the time. And she's like, no, this is a first. And I was like, okay, that's when the baby got handed back. But we never saw any of that start to take place. How did they find the other family? Because he lost him at the store.
He lost him outside in the truck when he put his baby down in the car seat with the blanket over it and then grabbed the one right next to it.
Oh.
So yeah, because he was unloading stuff for the auction or whatever they were having.
Yeah.
And then the car behind him had a carrier with the same, which I don't know why this mom just left her car seat carrier in the middle of the fucking road.
And it's like those spy movies where they set down the briefcase and then they pick up the one right next to it.
Yeah.
To do the trade-off.
Yeah. Who's leaving your briefcase?
Yeah. It was really bothering me.
Yeah.
That they never explained how they organized this switchback. Obviously it had happened because the next scene, the baby was their baby. But I was like, could somebody please explain what happened? And I put it on Facebook.
If you're listening.
Yeah. Tyler, give us a jingle. I know that you didn't write this.
I know, but maybe you have the ins.
Maybe there was probably a scene or two that was filmed that they just
was cut.
Didn't cut. Yeah, that they cut out. Yep.
See, look at me. I'm talking like
look at you.
Oh my God. I'm basically an actress. I'm basically like Angelina Jolie right now.
I would say so.
Without the 7 kids.
Is that how many she has now?
Jesus. I don't know.
Let's remember she does have staff. So she can have 7 children.
Yes.
I could not. I would lose my shit.
I am struggling with one. So
yeah.
I don't know how she does it.
I'm struggling with dogs. So
they're dogs and babies, essentially the same thing.
Oh, the other day. So I think I've told you we've discussed this before, but I may have cut it out of one of the episodes. But my dogs.
And odds are I forgot it. So it'll be like the first time.
I'll start from scratch. So to catch you all up, my dogs eat poop.
Oh, poop. Correct.
Outside. Yes. Poopsicles. Because they're frozen and they like them.
That's
like that.
Disgusting.
Nice and crunchy.
Amy, don't.
It's
true.
God. It's true. So I bring them out in the morning like I always do at 5. And then again at 6 after they eat. And I don't remember what time this was, but we're all outside and Digby's out there, crunch, 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 crunch. And I have to yell, drop it, leave it, get your butt back in the house. He comes back in the house and I go back to bed and he curls around next to me, sits down right next to me, looks at me and burps.
No.
I almost threw up. It was so gross. Yeah. I kicked him off the bed.
My God.
Yeah, it was pretty awful.
I would expect that from Gracie. Digby.
I know Digby's a good guy, but
you know what, Digby? I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah. I don't think he could. I don't think he was controlling that at all. I don't think he did it on purpose.
But
I was like, it's bad.
Gross. Gross.
Oh, gross, man.
That's gross.
Yeah. Okay, before we get into Ghost Brothers,
GB
patrons, you all should probably have your gifts by now. US people for sure. I'm not sure about the one going to Yorkshire and the one going to Ireland. But we did get a nice little note from Heather, one of our patrons.
Did?
Yes.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, she's in, I want to say she's somewhere south. She is a friend of Melissa, who
wrote our song.
Yeah, Melissa who wrote our song. And Melissa introduced Heather to our show. Heather became a patron. And we've never met. Oh, she's the one that did the story on the Villisca X murder house.
Where she went to the, okay.
Yep. So we've posted her pictures and read her story, and then she read her story. Yep. Okay, so she sent a note back and said, Amy and Megan, thanks so much for the mug and the goodies. I love your podcast, and I appreciate y'all thinking of me. Have the best holiday season and New Year.
That was so sweet. You too, sweet. Heather. Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Yeah, happy holidays.
And everyone.
Whatever holiday you celebrate, or if you don't celebrate any.
Yep.
Whatever. Floats your boat.
Yeah. So then I think this happened after we met last, but you know about this, Megan. Amy Allen, she posted something about a doctor's appointment she was having and posted a photo. And I commented on the photo and she replied back and she then retweeted it too.
So you're basically besties.
We're basically best friends. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Please don't forget about me. But
yeah, no, never. I'd bring you along. So she did that and then it got us some new followers.
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah. Guess how many?
5.
3.
I was so close. Hey, 3's better than none.
It's better than none.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Sometimes, those with a strong attachment to a specific place during their lifetime choose to stick around, reliving moments or specific events that took place there. It all comes back to the history that was left behind. That history leaves an impression. This is the Haunted Happy Hour podcast, a show dedicated to uncorking chilling conversations about the paranormal. We're your hosts, Lily
and Vanessa. We dig through the history of locations to get an understanding of why certain places are considered to be haunted, what happened there, and why.
We seek to understand the reasons for encountering some sort of paranormal manifestations in certain locations while sharing our own experiences.
Took some shots, everything was great, but then when I looked the second time, I was already down to 7%. I had like 50 some.
Oh my gosh.
Join us in our haunted lounge as we share stories about the history, hauntings, and lore throughout our hometowns across the Midwest and beyond.
For those looking to find out what spooky tales lie trapped within some of America's cities and towns, join us for the next Haunted Happy Hour. We'll talk spirits, drink spirits, and sometimes even encounter spirits. I could definitely taste the vanilla.
Honestly, it's not as strong as what it smells like. I give this one 2 thumbs up.
Okay, now that we're enjoying our drink though, let's go ahead and talk about the stories.
You can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, or anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. And if you have Echo devices, an easy way to listen is just say, Alexa, play Haunted Happy Hour podcast.
So, we invite you to sit back, grab a cocktail, and let us introduce you to some history, mayhem, hauntings, and spirits right here on the Haunted Happy Hour podcast. Cheers!
Welcome to the mysterious world of the Skylark Bell. Our story begins on the outskirts of a small town called Pocket, where Margaret Phaeton, better known as Magpie, must connect a series of unexplained events, psychic visions, and century-old folktales before the mysterious silence hanging over the abandoned farm at Meadow Lane spreads to the entire town. The Skylark Bell is a fiction podcast in serial format, with new chapters every Friday and bonus episodes that recount real-life paranormal experiences. Find the Skylark Bell on all major platforms and at theskylarkbell.com. I'm Melissa Oliveri. Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Okay, so you remember how I made that, bin, that whole shelving unit to keep my craft space organized?
Yep.
That lasted about, 5 seconds. And it literally looks like crafting exploded in here again.
Mm-hmm.
There's bags on the floor. There's jewelry supplies. We've got resin. We have glitter.
Yep.
I can't with myself. I'm exhausting.
When you showed me that picture of that all set up, and I was like, I hope that style of organization works for her. It would not work for me. But organizational styles are different. Some people can organize that way and put stuff away. I am the kind of person that when something needs to get put away, I have to be able to basically throw it where it goes.
Oh, that's John too.
I'm not going to pull out 4 bins and open them and put something in and put the top back on and put them back. It throws. If I can throw it to where it goes, it goes. Yep.
Yeah, I do, but see, and I try to be organized, but then remember when I was texting you and I'm like, remember how I organized everything? And now I don't remember where anything is.
Aren't the bins clear?
You know what, Amy? We're not talking about that.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to borrow my labeler?
No, I have a Cricut. I labeled a lot of stuff. Oh, you can label them all
with a Cricut. Okay.
Yeah. Where's my glitter? Oh, I moved my glitter, but yeah, my glitter is labeled and it's labeled.
Good. Okay.
I don't remember what I was looking for, but I had not found it. I didn't know what it was. So
funny.
That's another podcast. That's a whole nother podcast. That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
All right. So should we break it down now?
Yep. Oh, the only content warning is that there's a medical emergency in this episode. And I don't really mean for us to break this down every piece like we do with Dead Files. I just want to talk about the show and kind of what they did and the parts that we thought were really funny.
I will say there is also child death because one of the ghosts kills.
Oh, that's right.
One of the ghosts kills a 13-year-old.
So there's child death. I forgot about that. Yep, you're right.
Okay. So here's the thing. I like this show. I think it's really funny. It's just too scripted for me.
Oh, really?
I feel like it's very scripted. Okay. Like when it starts and they're in the barber shop and they're like, yo, I just heard about this hotel in Magnolia or in Seguin, Texas.
Yeah. I agree. That part's tilted.
But one of the friends goes, how you live in Biggie Smalls? And the other friend goes, that shirt is small.
Yeah. That was cute.
So I'm not saying it's a bad show. It's super entertaining. And you can tell that these have been friends for a long time. Like they weren't just thrown together for this show, but it just was a little too scripted in some parts. And they really over dramatize it.
Yeah. Well, the guys they're fraidy cats.
Yeah, they are.
I'm like, why are you doing this show?
But that makes it better.
It does. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is season 1, episode 5. It takes place in Seguin, Texas, as Megan said. Mm-hmm. And they are going to the Magnolia Inn, which is, they also call it the Hotel of Death. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they are not biological brothers. They are just best friends who have all had paranormal experiences throughout their lives. Marcus owns a barbershop in Atlanta. And that's pretty much their HQ.
Headquarters. Yeah. Yep.
And that's where they go and they go, oh, here, we're going to do this show. Yeah. Like
I just found out about this turns page hotel in Texas.
Like on Friends. Insert name here.
Or in Annie when Daddy Warbucks is doing the radio show.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Page. Anyways, I have so much useless shit up here.
Yeah, I love it. Okay. Well, like I said, we don't have to go through every little thing, but they are going to this hotel to research the ghosts in the hotel. There's 13 confirmed deaths in the hotel, so they assume that there are 13 ghosts there. And one of the things that I think is funny that I do believe they repeat every episode is they go, time to start ghosting.
So just a little bit of background on the hotel. It was built in 1840, according to them. And it became the first stagecoach hotel in the area. So it was a really good place for, people who are riding a stagecoach for whatever reason to stay the night, clean up, maybe get a meal. But over time, it did attract more violence, more criminals. In 1874 is when the first confirmed killing happened. And then they go through a lot of different, not all 13, but the main ones. There's a man, like we said, who killed a 13-year-old girl thinking that it was his wife. A sex worker killed a man. They don't use that word. Killed a man in an upstairs room. Another guy slit his own throat. One thing I thought was funny was when they were in the barbershop, they asked a customer if he would stay in the Hotel of Death. And he goes, I don't think so. Is it on Yelp? I was like, that's a fair question.
That is a fair question.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's been around for quite a while.
Yeah.
So it definitely, has the time to be very haunted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And so they get to the town. They drive to Seguin, Texas. And once they get there, one of them, who's not Marcus, so it's Dalen and Juwan are the other two. And then Marcus is the one that owns the barbershop. One of them decides that they're going to take a stagecoach, like a horse and buggy.
I believe it was Juwan. Is he the one with the tattoo on his chest?
Yeah, they both have tattoos on their chest. Juwan is a little taller.
Is he the one that was wearing the hat or no hat?
Yeah.
Okay, so then it was Dalen, the other guy.
Okay.
Who doesn't have the hat.
Okay. Yeah.
He decided they were going to.
We decided, I rented us this stagecoach or whatever.
Which was really funny.
Marcus is like, why aren't we just taking the car? And he's like, well, because we're going to ride the stagecoach like the people back then did.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay. And Marcus starts to feel kind of sick while they're in the stagecoach, and he's like shortness of breath, and he keeps like looking out the, like, I want to say window, but the side where he can see out the street and everything,
where a window would be.
Yeah. And he's getting like all kind of goofy.
He keeps coughing.
Yeah.
And before that, I have two theories on this. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No,
I have two theories. The first theory is before that, they were interviewing a storekeeper because they pass us the world's biggest pecan. And so they're interviewing the local shop, like this local shop owner. And he goes, everything is bigger in Texas. And I grow some big nuts.
Yep.
So I'm wondering, one thought that I had was potentially Marcus could be allergic to nuts because he talked about his throat.
He did throw about his,
So that made me think maybe he's allergic to nuts.
Could be. And that was the biggest pecan.
It was the biggest
pecan
world. In the world.
I mean, it was made out of paper mache, but that's
the store was, full of nuts. And some people
full of nuts.
Some people have such a strong allergic reaction that even being in the same air.
Yep.
And, maybe Marcus doesn't. I'm just saying that was one.
That's a really good point. I didn't even think about that.
The second thing that I thought of was it was a pure old fashioned panic attack.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Because this is where the over dramatization really got me annoyed because he's like, it's like the house doesn't want me there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, or you're just having a panic attack.
Yeah.
Because like me, you're a fraidy cat and you don't want to go investigate this. That seems the more like, and you guys know me, I'm all for the ghosties.
Yeah.
And I'm 100, but I don't think this was the end. I think this was either a nut allergy or a panic attack because they release him from the hospital. Yeah. With nothing.
Right.
So,
right. I don't think it was either of, I think it was one of the two things you said too, or a combination.
Yeah.
Because we'll get to this, but he does get back to the inn. Yes. He does go to the hospital.
Yes.
They call the 911.
And he's really upset that
comes.
The TV only has Telemundo on.
Yes. Oh my God. They show him at the hospital and he's like, this is only Telemundo. I don't speak Spanish.
And then there's a nurse helping him and he goes, so they only have Telemundo here? Or what? I'm like, dude.
That was funny.
That was pretty funny. But he does. He does
come back. Yeah. He comes back. This is before he comes back. Juwan and Dalen are talking to the owners of the inn.
Aaron and Jim.
Yep. Aaron and Jim. And they are talking to Aaron and she shows him this little like cutout, like a bookshelf. And she goes, I noticed this hidden bookshelf when we were remodeling the place. And then she says, this is where I got the picture of the ghost child. And they show the picture and it's literally a white blob on a black background. Like someone stuck their thumb on the camera.
And she's like, and you can see the ghost child's hand doing this. And
it's
I'm like,
playing.
No.
And both of the guys go, I'm not seeing that.
I know. They're like, I'm really trying, but I don't see it.
Yeah, I really don't see that. And then they go back to Aaron and one of them says, so tell us about some of the other spirits in the house. And she starts talking and they do that thing that like they do it in Top Chef all the time when people are too wordy.
Yeah.
They like draw out, they like turn down their volume and then it comes back in and then they do like a fade in, fade out of the person talking and talking and talking and talking. And then they cut to Dalen and he goes, let me tell you about Aaron. Homegirl likes to talk.
Yeah. And then he goes, I'm going to save y'all a lot of time.
Yep. And
then he tells us all about the four main ghosts.
Yep.
And then he goes, I just told you in 60 seconds, which she told us in 90 minutes.
Yep. That was really
and
funny.
good for her. She's very passionate about the ghosts.
Yep.
So yeah, there's 4 main ghosts, she said, and I wrote them down.
Okay, good.
Wait, did I? Oh no, I wrote them down after he told us about them. So
okay.
Sorry, there's 5. So the pink bathroom. This was allegedly haunted by the spirit of a pregnant woman who killed herself because she was jilted by her lover. People, no man is worth that.
No.
No person, honestly, is worth your life. Second, we have the basement. Is the ghost of a Texas Ranger who built the place and then, and these are not my words, got scalped by the Comanches. The third room is Pink Rosebud's room. Pink Rosebud was a sex worker. She stabbed a John who refused to pay. And anytime they show Pink Rosebud, the only thing she's doing is putting on lipstick. And I'm like, can she do something else with her? Like, I'm sure that Pink Rosebud was not just sitting up there, I'm just going to put my lipstick on for 9 hours. Itzy's room is another place. This was just a child who was a little girl who was allegedly locked in a closet while her mom turned tricks. So she was basically just abandoned by her mom. And then William Faust's room is the last place. And he is the biggest, baddest spirit in the hotel. He cut up a child with an axe thinking it was his wife. When he realized his mistake, he tried to fix it by burying an axe in his wife's face. I don't know how that would fix it.
I don't see how that would fix it.
But
no.
And he allegedly does not like women. He will scratch their face. And so the owner, Erin, she doesn't like to go in there by herself. Those were the 4 or 5 main spirits, according to Erin, as told to us by, what's his name? Dalen.
Dalen. Juan. It's Juan and Dalen. That was Dalen that gave us the
recap.
So because they weren't sure if Marcus was going to be back out of the hospital in time for the walkthrough, the evening's festivities, they contacted a friend of theirs, another paranormal investigator, also named Marcus.
Mark.
Yeah.
So he was named New Marcus.
Yeah.
Which I loved.
They called him New Marcus or New Mark. So as not to confuse him, I was calling him White Mark because the other 3 are black. But he's really funny too. They told him that he's auditioning to replace Marcus, and he was like, okay, like he was totally in. So there's a scene where Dalen and Marcus, White Marcus, are in the pink bedroom doing EVPs. And
the pink bathroom.
That's what I meant. Sorry.
Because New Marcus is on the toilet. Yes. And Dalen is on the tub.
Yep.
And Dalen is like, I'm going to be honest, if we hear something, I might shit my pants. Yeah. And New Marcus goes, do you want the toilet?
I thought that was great. So other Marcus is back now, but he is with Juan in another area.
They're in the basement. Yeah.
Okay. So they hear a lot of noises while they're talking. They're just kind of chit-chatting and they hear noises, and the door next to where Dalen was sitting rattled.
Yeah.
And the knob rattled, and they get up and look, and there's no one there. And I'm reading my notes on when Marcus gets to Pink Rosebud's room, but it's not the part where his wife called, which is my favorite part.
I know that was, oh my God. That was we'll get to that. Well, that was the best part.
So Marcus is married. He's
Marcus.
I believe old Marcus. Yes.
They're all married, I think, or they all have some, I thought, because one of them answers, he got a text, Jalen. Juan.
Dalen.
Jesus, I'm so sorry. Dalen got a text when they were trying to do an EVP, and he was like, it's one of my chicks. And
so I don't think he's married. I think he has a lot of girls.
I mean, look at him.
Good looking man. So man. Marcus just seems like he's always apologizing to his wife for something. Like she calls all the time. Yeah, old Marcus. Or main Marcus or whatever you want to call him. But he because I've seen, a few of these episodes, and she calls a lot, and he's always like either afraid to answer it, or when he does answer it, he says something. Anyway, I just thought that was funny. So they go to the Pink Rosebud room, and they explain that she had murdered one of her Johns. They decide to do an EVP session. And one of the questions that Dalen asks is, are you taking on any new clientele? I'm like, come on. And he offers her $15.
Yeah. And then he goes, which I know in your time is a lot
That's
of
a
money.
lot of money.
I was like, that's a bit condescending to her.
I thought that was pretty rude.
That's kind of rude.
Yeah. But on the EVPs, they do get a gasp.
Which whenever they play
could have
EVPs,
been anybody. I know.
I always close my eyes because I don't want them to put on the screen what we're supposed to hear, and then that's all I hear.
Oh, I can't even hear it when I'm supposed to.
I did hear
sometimes
a gasp.
I can't. Oh, I did hear a gasp too, but that could have been anybody.
I know
making that noise.
And they're like, "Did you hear that?"
Yeah.
It's like, okay, calm down.
Yeah.
Like, Amy has gotten scarier things.
Yeah. Yeah. So then as they're leaving, Dalen leaves money, the $15 or whatever, on the nightstand. And it reminded me, did I tell you about last Christmas when my mom did that?
It's ringing a bell, but I don't remember. So
my mom stayed with us last Christmas. She came over Christmas Eve, stayed till Christmas Day. She's doing the same this week. She slept in the guest bedroom. Mm-hmm. And when I cleaned up the next day, Christmas Day, and after she had left and I was cleaning up the room, I found a $20 bill on the nightstand. And I'm like, do you think I'm running a brothel? What is this?
That was for turn down service.
Which I don't know. That made me laugh.
That's funny. Oh, Barbara.
Oh, Barb. Oh, that reminds me before we get to
how's Barbara the polar bear?
Barbara the polar bear is doing well. I am. I think I'm wearing her today. No, I'm wearing my elephant today. So Manolo. Should I call him Barry? Barry Manolo.
Obviously,
I was worried about this, and I mentioned it last time, and we talked a little bit about how I was worried that he had not been tracked since August. Mm-hmm. And I had sent them a note, and I was like, "Did he cross the Rainbow Bridge? Because he's not. He's not showing up anymore." And I then, I should have done this earlier. I looked back at the app, and it says more about him or whatever, and I click on that, and it explains that they still track the elephant every day, but they don't report it to the app until 4 months after the date.
Oh.
So because they don't want poachers finding out where they are and going to get them.
Smart.
Very smart.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I didn't see it when I was looking at his stuff in the beginning. It was not on his card. I feel like that should be on the card. But anyway, so they did get back to me and they explained that. And I was like, okay, yeah, I figured that out on my own stupid self. So, I can see that he was tracked August 14th, August 15th, August 16th. So that's showing up. It's just 4 months late.
Yeah.
Which is fine. So
now you should be getting something now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But it'll be for August 18th.
Oh, I see.
December.
So then in April, you'll get where he was now.
Yes.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yes.
That's smart. So good.
Yeah.
Like
tell me again what the names are of your sharks.
Chum, he's by Norfolk. And then we have Finn. He's on the east coast of Florida.
Okay.
Eddie, my only girl, she's hanging out in the Bahamas.
Okay.
All three of those are hammerheads. And then Thor, my baby, my OG.
Your first.
He's
born.
My firstborn. He's hanging out in between Cuba and Florida in the deep sea.
Okay.
So the other three are pretty close to shore. Mm-hmm. And Thor is, but Silkies are deep sea, ocean goers. So that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So back to the Ghost Boys.
For you. What about Barb and Regina?
They're doing good.
George.
They're doing good. They're both in the water right now. So
interesting.
Yeah, because they're showing up.
Yeah.
I can't zoom in. It's just water. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they haven't come to shore in a bit. I just picture Barbara. She's my polar bear. Oh my God, I just got a text from my mother whose name is Barbara.
Oh my God, her ears were ringing.
Yeah, I know. I just picture Barbara like on an ice
a flow.
Yeah,
ice flow.
That's it. That's the word.
FLOE, not FLOW. English lesson for everybody. You're welcome.
Oh my God.
What's Barb say?
Barb,
mother, not polar bear.
But not the polar bear. I do not get texts from the polar bear.
That would be a feat if you did.
I know, wouldn't that be cool? But my mom, her car is dead, and it needs
Forever?
to be. No, I don't know forever, but it dies frequently. The car is it's not starting, and that's, to be fair, it's 5 degrees.
Yes,
here in Minnesota,
and we are heading into, what do they call it? Not an Arctic chill, but we're gonna have like a polar something.
Yeah,
not the Polar Express, but it's gonna be like,
it's gonna be 0
or lower.
Yeah, Friday is gonna be 0 or below.
Today was a high of 9, so we're getting into an Arctic blast. I think it's an Arctic blast. I'm gonna say that.
That sounds
final
right.
Answer.
That sounds like a flavor of like a
Kool-Aid
or something.
Yeah. Take this Arctic blast, and then the Kool-Aid man goes, "Oh yeah."
I love it.
Could you go over and jump it?
I don't know. Maybe. I wouldn't know how to do that. Greg might know how to do that.
It's easy. I know how to. Even I know how to do that.
Okay.
You just need the cables, and then you hook them.
I've seen it done. I've been taught how to do it.
Yeah,
but that was like I was in college.
Okay.
My dad showed me how, and I never had to do it on my own.
Really? Oh, I've had to jump cars before.
I've always.
They don't bounce well.
But
I'm ching. I'm here all week, folks.
All right. Well, we better get going because
I know.
we've already talked for an hour. Okay.
I know.
So
let's dive right in.
So Marcus goes outside and oh wait, sorry, I forgot. Leaves money on the nightstand.
Rude.
When Marcus leaves, when Marcus leaves. So white Marcus leaves and then says, "Bye, old Mark."
I know.
Marcus. And then they bring in another guy. His name is
medium.
Brian. Yeah.
He's a medium.
And I think he's a psychic medium because I think one of them calls him a psychic. But anyway, he's a medium. And he
doesn't hold a candle to Amy, in my opinion.
No.
He was too showy for my opinion.
Yeah, he was also pretty, he's like, I don't mean to be dramatic here, and then he'd be dramatic.
Yeah. And I don't know if he knew much about it going in.
Exactly. I was thinking he could have known because
he was like, I'm getting like someone standing over a woman and a brutal murder.
Yeah.
And I'm like, not that he couldn't have gotten that.
He could have seen that for sure.
They never said Brian doesn't know anything.
Right.
Like with Amy, they say that they don't even tell her. They don't even fly her into the city she's going to be in.
Yeah.
They fly into a big one and then they drive her there. So she knows nothing.
Right.
She's so much better.
Yeah. So Brian explains how the bad energy from the place could affect people, could make people kill themselves or have panic attacks. He didn't say that specifically, but yeah.
No, but I'm inferring it.
Yeah. So then Marcus goes outside and he tries to replicate there's a ghost photo that I could not see a ghost in that photo.
No.
I'm not talking about the thumb one. I'm talking about it's like a window pane and there's supposed to be a person in there.
I know. I could not see that for the life of me.
No. But Marcus goes outside and I thought this was funny that he's taking pictures outside of the house. It's dark.
Yeah.
It's middle of the night. And he's talking to the house as if it's a model. He's like, look over this way, smile, show me fierce, show me. That was pretty funny. So the psychic got Boosgumps.
Goosebumps.
I was trying to say goosebumps.
I was trying to figure out what you were saying. Yeah. I was like, are you stroking out over there? What's going on?
Do I smell burnt feathers?
Do you thought it was burnt toast?
Oh, I don't know.
What's burnt feathers? Maybe it's both.
Well, there was a movie, and I can't remember the name of it now, but there was a movie where there was some kind of running joke in it that that the person smelled burnt feathers, and everybody was teasing him that he was having a stroke.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, so he got goosebumps, and when he got to the room where the man axed the 13-year-old girl and the woman, Brian says he feels a passing, and he hears her screaming, and that's when he was like, I didn't mean to be dramatic, but I'm going to be dramatic.
I'm going to be dramatic.
Yeah.
Brian.
And then Dalen's like, how could he have known all of that? And he says he believes in psychics now, especially those named Brian.
Okay.
So, and then they go outside and it's hot. It's hot in there. You can tell.
Oh my God, this scene. Then
they get outside. The three of them, the three main guys are outside. Ryan's gone. He's peaced out.
He's got goosebumps. He left.
Yeah, his Boosgumps.
He's like, not to be dramatic, but I'm terrified I'm going to leave.
I'm out of here.
And we're like, bye.
Yeah, so they get out there. Jawan takes off his shirt.
Takes his shirt off.
And I was like, what? And then even the guys were like, come on.
I know. Marcus goes, this isn't Magic Mike up in here. He's like, it's so hot. I'm sweating.
So hot.
I'm
and of
so
course he's
sweaty. And he's just ripped.
Yeah,
just got this like a Greek god.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just sculpted. And
it was pretty funny. They were giving him so much shit.
They were
Marcus
giving him
is like,
so much
I am
shit.
not going back in that house until you put your fucking shirt back on.
I know. I rolled my eyes so hard at that. I thought they were going to get stuck in my head.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, really?
Funny.
Really? Then they go back in and then they go into Pink Rosebud's room. And Marcus goes into Pink Rosebud's room.
Yeah.
And then his wife calls.
Oh, yeah. Hang on. There's one thing before that.
Okay. Sorry.
No, there was another part I thought was funny. They go into the little girl's room. This is
Jawan and Dalen.
Jawan and Dalen are in the room and they're trying to talk to, they're doing EVPs and they're trying to talk to the little girl.
Mm-hmm.
And Dalen is saying like, he's just talking like you would to a kid or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he asks if she likes candy.
Uh-huh.
And Jawan goes, you're starting to sound a little bit too much Catch a Predator.
Yeah. And Dalen goes, yeah, that was kind of pervy.
That was kind of pervy.
So then Marcus, he's in Pink Rosebud's room and his wife calls and he puts her on speakerphone. And he's like, I can't talk right now. I'm in a prostitute's room. And she goes, you're what?
You're what? Well, the part that was so funny about that is that when he first answers the phone, she's like, hey, what's up? And he goes, why are you talking so loud? I'm in an investigation. And she goes, oh, I'm sorry. And then he says, well, I'm in a prostitute's room. And she's like, you know what? She's suddenly really loud again.
Yeah. And then he's like, no, I should mention she's dead. I got to call you back, baby. And she's like, you better call me back.
Yeah. Well, when he says, oh, I should clarify, the prostitutes are all dead. And she goes, what?
Which, to be fair, that's kind of stage 2 because he said he's doing an investigation.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like he's laying around with a bunch of dead prostitutes.
I know.
Like, come
I
on.
know. And it did bug me that they called them prostitutes. They even called them hookers at one point.
I know. I was like, you guys.
It's sex worker, guys.
Come on.
Yeah.
And when we call them that, it's just because that's what they call them.
Yeah.
You know, that's not the right term.
We don't use that term.
We don't use that term.
Right.
But it's just like, you call them a hooker?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me right
let's
now?
go to the hooker's room. I will say one other thing that I thought was really funny in that little scene with Marcus is after he hangs up the phone, it's hot, right? Like I said, he's wiping his brow and he says, women sure do know when you ain't supposed to be somewhere, don't they?
He wiped his brow. He calls it his big boy rag.
Oh, is it?
He's like, I got to get my big boy rag. Because he's kind of bigger.
He is kind of a big boy. He's
Husky.
So cute. Yeah.
He is
He's my favorite of the three,
yeah,
actually, because I love his personality.
He's my favorite.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's not that much else really. They hear a sound and they go, did Marcus just fall down? And it was a mannequin.
Yeah.
It was like a Abe Lincoln mannequin that was
there.
And
it was kind of a creepy mannequin.
It was really creepy. It had no eyes.
Yeah. And then they were like, he's at a figure 4.
Yeah. And
I'm
like pausing. I'm like, what the fuck is that? It's a wrestling hold.
Oh.
Where you put your leg like to shape of a 4, you know? Like,
oh, yeah.
So you put the guy's head on inside the 4. That's a final.
Oh,
that's
got it.
Figure
Sports.
4. Yeah. I know. Me too. I'm like, I don't know. Or maybe that's football. I'm like, I don't know what that is. But yeah, it's wrestling.
It's not football. No.
So Dalen says that when he came back down and found the mannequin down there, he saw something move across the room.
He saw a big black shadow move.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then there was that part where he's sitting in the room and he was told that if he sits on this ledge, it'll bounce back up at him.
Yeah.
So he's sitting there and he's waiting to, he's talking to the ghost that's supposed to be there. Yeah. And he feels a footprint next to his feet.
Yeah,
and
it was like in between his feet.
And he sits down and he tells this ghost, I want you to interact with me. Tell me you're here. I won't be scared.
And then he's scared.
Then he freaked out.
Which, to be fair, like I would too, but
Well, I
I'd
would
tell
too,
the person, like,
yeah.
I'm going to tell the ghost, like, dude, I'm going to freak out. Like,
Yeah.
He freaked out.
He did.
Freaked
He's like,
the fuck out.
I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I'm going.
It's like, dude, the ghost did what you asked it to do.
Yeah. He did exactly what you asked. And
now you're being
running
rude
away
about it.
Right.
First, you leave $15 for the sex worker. Right. You didn't call that.
Right.
Now and then you were trying to give the little ghost kid to get candy. Like, dude, you need to reevaluate yourself.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a good episode. They just left. They don't do like, ghost hunters. They do their investigation is like
it's
half
a lot more
of the show.
Serious. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the rest of the show is them going over their
analyzing
evidence.
footage and, trying to figure it out. And these guys, but I think I like them because it's not that serious. Like they just go in and they're like, yep, it's haunted. And then they leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was basically how it ended. They were like, yeah, this is really haunted. Bye.
Right. They all get in the car
and they drive away.
And they go, Ghost Brothers ghosting out.
Yeah.
That's how they end every episode, I believe.
So it's a good show.
It's a good show.
It's cute. It's very light, but it's overly dramatic for my taste. it was a little much sometimes.
It can be, yeah.
But
it's fun.
It is fun. Yeah, I recommend it. I've watched several episodes. I just think it's a good show.
Yeah, it is good.
Yeah. Do we have an Alanism for the people?
Give me a number and I will read one.
63.
63 is... That seems to be rising in your list of preferential treatments.
Yeah, okay. All right, Ellen.
Or maybe he means like, maybe I'm just saying it wrong. That seems to be rising in your list of preferential treatments.
I think it means that just that particular thing is becoming more important to you.
Yeah.
Is what I would think.
Yeah.
But that's too logical. And Alan is not logic. So.
But he does, I think, yeah. I mean, sometimes it's logical, but he just uses weird words to say, like, I think what he's like you or I would say is.
That's more important to you.
But the fact that he said your list of preferential treatments makes me think that he said something to Jackie and she didn't like it.
Oh, okay.
And he said, "Oh, you don't want me to treat you like that anymore." That kind of a thing. That's what I think he was doing.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks so much for listening, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Activity Continues podcast. We really appreciate you giving us your ears for a bit. Please reach out if you have a suggestion for which episode of the Dead Files we should cover next, or if you have a spooky story you'd like us to share on the show. We can be reached at theactivitycontinues@gmail.com or through our website or any of our socials. Links are all in the description of the show. Please feel free to drop us a note and say hi. And join us next time when the activity continues. The Activity Continues is produced by me, Amy, at Collected Sounds Media and is part of the independent Collected Sounds podcast network. We are also proud members of the Boo Pod network of super cool podcasts.
Nailed it.